War. A man may know how war will start, but he never knows how it will end. There are so many stories to be told about war by those who have experienced it in different countries around the world. I am not a professional storyteller, nor am I a public speaker. I am just a young girl who has experienced war firsthand. My name is Ishimwe Aimée Clarice. I was born in Rwanda in 1988. Rwanda is a tiny landlocked country in East Africa. It is land of 1,000 hills. It is home to the famous mountain gorillas. Rwanda is a beautiful country with breathtaking landscapes and one common language, Kinyarwanda, that unites its people. The Rwanda I knew as a child was a peaceful place where the sun shone down on us. It was a place where I could be free with my family and my friends. A place where we could share laughter and love. It was my home. However, one day in 1994, the sun that I had come to know was replaced by a blanket of darkness. The love and laughter was replaced by a fear and hatred. The home I had come to love was changed forever. In 1994, a war broke out in Rwanda. It was a war unlike any other the world had ever seen. The genocide started in April and continued for 100 days. More than 800,000 Rwandan lives were lost. I cannot paint a complete picture of war for you. I did not come here to tell you everything about violence that destroyed the nation. My words cannot adequately describe the tragedy that struck Rwanda in 1994. You do not need to know all the details of the violence to understand the impact war has on people who live in it. When war destroys a house, bricks and stones can be rebuilt. But when war destroys a family, no amount of glue can put it back together again. War takes away sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, and loved ones that can never be replaced. The destruction from war is not just seen with the eyes. It is felt deep in the heart. It causes wounds so great that no amount of medical attention can ever repair them. When I hear word war, my heart jumps in my chest. Memories I long to forget rush into my mind. Images I pray I will never see again play before my eyes. When I remember what war has done to my country, to my family, to my friends, and to me, it makes me sad. I hate war. I remember when war started in Rwanda. At first, I didn't understand it at all. How can a child of 6 years old understand the meaning of war? When my family heard the first gunshot, the first bomb, we hid under the bed. There are no lessons on how to survive a war. No books to read, no courses to study. When war comes knocking at your door, you do everything in your power not to let it into your house. Before the war happened in Rwanda, I was no different from any one of you sitting here today. I had no experience with machetes, or bombs, or any photos of war. I was just like you. But when war comes, you learn quickly how to fight for your survival. My family and I hid under the bed and we waited. When the chaos in the street calmed down, my father led my mother, my brother, my 3 sisters, and me out of our house. It was the last time I would ever see my Rwandan home. At 6 years old, I had no idea that at the moment, my life was to be changed forever. For 3 months, we navigated the Straits of the War in hopes of finding refuge in Congo. For many Rwandans, fleeing the country meant the start of new life. It meant they had survived the war and could live to tell the stories. However, war followed my family to Congo. We lived in a refugee camp for 2 years until the day came when we were forced to leave the camp and once again return to the wars. December 21st, 1996 was a day I will forever remember, regardless of how hard I tried to forget it. Although the sun shone outside, our hearts continued to feel the pain of war. I remember hiding in the woods with my father, not knowing where my mother or my siblings were hiding. Guns exploded, Guns exploded all around us and offered no hope for survival. My father took me in his arms and said, "Aimée, don't worry, just lie down and wait. If death wants us, there is nothing that can be done." The events that followed live on in my mind, but are beyond anything that I can share. My father died that day, along with my older brother and my older sister. War took the lives of my family and left me to carry on, injured and alone. I hate war. For 3 days, I survived on my own in complete state of shock. And it was over 3 months before I made it to the refugee camp. While there, I was reunited with my mother, my 2 sisters, and my brand new baby brother, who was born 6 days after the death of my father. We survived the war, but more important than that, we were once again together. We lived in Congo for 11 years before moving to Kenya and then to Canada. After living in Canada at the age of 21, I was given my very first opportunity to attend school at Winnipeg Adult Education Centre. For my mother, living in Canada provided her first opportunity to visit a real hospital and to be seen by a real doctor. She finally received treatment for her fight with breast cancer. It was our first chance since the war to really feel alive. People who live in war zones have no rights, no access to education, to medical treatment, nothing. They may live, but they have no life. I am so thankful. Today, we gather to remember the soldiers who lost their lives in order to give others freedom. When we remember those foreign soldiers, please also take the time to remember all those people whose lives are forever changed by war. War is not fought by children. It is not fought by mothers. However, it is they who must find the will to carry on once war has completed its path of destruction. It is the mothers and the children who are left with the scars, the visible reminders of war. As we reflect of what war does to families, to friends, to countries all over the world, we must also think of how we can stop it. We need to put our voices and our hearts together and say, never again. Never again can we allow war to destroy nations. Never again can we allow war to destroy families. Never again can we leave children with no one to care for them and with no hope in their hearts. I will stop now, but just before I finish, I would like to ask you to join me as we remember those people who have lost their lives during wars, and those who are still suffering the terrible effects of war. Thank you very much for listening to me.